Russell from Infallible Helping Hands, and this is our Freedom from the Inside Out event. It's an awesome event that we're having. We're having breakout sessions where you can learn about your credit, where you can learn about how to reacclimate back into society. We have the Secretary of the Department of Corrections here. We have the Secretary of Department of Workforce Development here. It's an exciting event where you can learn how to come back into society and be successful.
How do we make it so that 97% of our inmates who return to the street don't come back? So that's where I've been focused since I came to corrections, and corrections for years have been focused on it, and we get better and better and better. About 2,400 inmates are released back to Milwaukee every year out of the Department of Corrections. That is a lot of people, and a lot of people who've got a steep hill to climb. I mean, nobody in this room doesn't understand the challenges that you face as being formerly incarcerated and how that affects you in trying to get jobs and what you're going to do, what the things you have to overcome. Just the fact as soon as they pull your name up and they see you've got a record, the door slammed shut. These are things that we have to address. But the number one thing we have to address is getting skills and education and things that you can take with you to these employers and show them this is what I've got to offer. When I first came into this position, the Lieutenant Governor met with me, and she had met a young man who was incarcerated for 9 years. He was a crack dealer out of Chicago, up in the streets of Milwaukee dealing crack. He went away to prison, he went to Waupun, and he went in there with the attitude, I'm going to do my time as fast as I can, get out and go back to dealing crack, because that's where I can make the most money. But he ran into a person in prison who actually challenged him and said, is this what you want to make your life? Because every decision you made so far has gotten you here. If you want to keep making these bad decisions, this is where you're going to end up again. So she challenged him to learn a skill and to go out and get a job. And she went to him and said, I want you to learn welding. And he said, I don't know a single black welder anywhere. Why are you picking welding? She said, because the pay is good and you've got the right mind and the skill set to do it. So he went through our program. He became a welder, got certified through technical college. And while he was incarcerated, he was sent up to Green Bay to work at Lambeau Field when they were doing it. We had a whole bunch of our offenders up there and inmates working on it. And he was so impressed, the foreman was so impressed, said, you know what, when you get out of prison, I want you to come see me. And here's my name and here's my number. And he was getting out in 9 months. And he called that guy before he got out and said, hey, I'm getting released. And the guy hired him on the spot while he was still in prison. He said, you come see me the day you get out. He came out that day and he started at $21 an hour as a welder. Worked there for almost 2 years. And then started his own welding company. And then went back to school. And then finished his bachelor's degree with a 3.9 average. And started his own nonprofit to support offenders coming out. Those are the kind of stories that just make your spine tingle. And I met this young man, and he is nothing short of a ball of energy. And I said to him, I said, what was it that made you change? What was it that flicked your switch? He said, it was that one corrections person who basically kicked me in the crotch and said, get your head out of your butt, and this is what you need to do. And if you don't start making right decisions, your life will not change. And I was listening this morning to some of your motivational speakers saying exactly the same thing. People have to make that decision. You've made that decision. You're here. You know where you want to go. There's opportunities out there, but they're not going to be easy to get. But hopefully we can try and make it somewhat easier by helping get the skills, get the jobs, get people connected with employers. Up at Generac hired 100 former offenders when they were on a big ramp up. 95 of them were still working there 2 years ago. And the head of their company said they're the best employees they ever had because they realized what they've got because they never had to go through what offenders did and inmates did by losing everything. You guys are an inspiration, and gals. It's great to come here and see everything set up, people trying to help you. The only way that everybody's going to be successful is if we support you with the skills, we support you with the programs, and then we try and get you on the right path going forward.
My name is Darvin Moore. I'm here at the Freedom from the Inside Out event. I am a credit specialist, and today my goal is to instill some great information because we have been misinformed in that department, personal and business credit. I am here to encourage us to move forward, and let's go.
My name is Ilya Blakely. I'm a mortgage banker with BMO Harris Bank. I'm here for the Freedom from the Inside Out Symposium, first annual symposium, and I'm here to talk about your credit, your future, and financial literacy. in housing and marketing. So a little bit about me. I've been with BMO Harris Bank for about 3 years. I'm a CRA mortgage banker. I do a lot of community outreach. I'm an active community advocate and spend a lot of time doing these type of events.
My name is Maurice Spreur, and I'm speaking to you from the Freedom from the Inside Out Re-entry Huddle of Hope event, Wednesday, August 26th, 2015. The topic that I presented was change your mind, change your destiny.
Regress into various acts of crime, stealing, hustling, as they call it in the streets, totally unproductive lifestyle. All the time I was angry with my father for doing what he did to me. It didn't hurt him one day. It hurt me. I was the one that wanted to die. I was the one that made the bad decisions. I was the one that hurt people. I was the one that ended up in prison. I was the one that laid there in those fields 3 different times, left for dead. That was me. But it was because I kept waiting for an apology that never came. And eventually I had to say, you know what, it's okay. It's never going to come.
Did you ever forgive yourself?
Yeah. Better than that, I realized I didn't have to forgive me. It wasn't necessary.
Here we go.
Hurting people hurt other people, but guess who they hurt the most? Themselves. So we're talking about change your mind, change your destiny. And I need you to understand that progress is impossible without change. And those who are unwilling to change their minds are incapable of changing. Excuse me. If you're not willing to change and address what's going on up here, you'll never change. How do I know that? Because I came to the conclusion that a lot of things that I believed were just natural parts of life were not. The things that I thought were just part of an everyday existence were not. I thought it was natural to get up every day and get high. I thought it was natural to get up because I had become used to managing my pain that way. Wherever you are today, whoever you are today, the decision to change starts right now. Right here, today, this second, this moment.
Choices. I personally made some bad choices in my life. Fortunately enough, I've been able to overcome them. And I think about, and it's really simple. I'm not the smartest guy, or the most talented person, or the best person. I've been fortunate. I've worked hard. And I think about the old saying, the race is not won by the fastest or the smartest, but the one person that endures to the end. So this is all about enduring to the end. And as Ed said, DWD, Workforce Development, Department of Corrections, you have a bunch of people here, employers, all the folks from DWD, Department of Corrections, partners, here to help you. We got your back.
My name is Brian Mason. I am a former offender and recovering addict. Here to speak at the Freedom from the Inside Out. And just to tell a little bit about my story, my struggle, my experience, strength, and hope. I have spent almost the better part of 10 years in active addiction with no way out, no idea how to get out, and pretty much hopeless. Turns out there is plenty of hope and plenty for me to do in this life, and I'm finally doing it now. Right now, I am coming up on 5 years clean from all alcohol, all drugs. I own my own home, I run my own business, and I am currently in the process of starting up a community center in Milwaukee. I believe in a simple statement that if I can do it, I know for a fact anybody can do it. So, hope that you guys enjoy what I have to say. Thanks.
My name is Joshua Johnson. I'm at the Freedom from the Inside Out.
So my 4 keys to success: attitude, accountability, change your circle, and patience. Pretty rudimentary, nothing extravagant, not a Ponzi scheme type thing. Basically, 4 things that you really need in life, period. When we have kids, these are the things we want to teach our kids. So it's the same thing about not going back to prison. I have a motto. This is a motto that I've always lived by. It's not about where you've been, it's all about where you want to be. Now, to give you an idea, after serving 10 years in prison, once I was released, I had no idea what I was going to do, where I was going to work. I had no idea the opportunities that were available for me. But this next slide really illustrates exactly what I had to realize. This next slide is something I read while I was in prison. I don't know where I read it. There was a book I read, and this has stayed with me for it's been almost 20 years that this has stayed with me. The goldfish in the glass bowl will never understand the existence of the ocean. Does anybody know what that means?
Because it's locked down. It's like constantly in the bowl, so it really didn't get to go to the ocean.
Yep. So that goldfish swimming around here can do that all day long. But if you dropped into the ocean, it wouldn't even understand the millions of miles it could swim. It's the same way with us, in our communities. When we stay in our communities, we have no idea what's outside of us. I used to meet kids, talk to them. They didn't even know we lived on one of the biggest lakes in the world, Lake Michigan. They never knew that. They'd never been down there. They never understood it. Same mentality we have for our brains. Everyone in here has been incarcerated. We've been in this goldfish. We've been this goldfish in that glass bowl. And what happens when we get out? We stay in that glass bowl. We go back to our same community. We go back to our same friends. We go back to our same people that we know. We stay stuck in here.
We have to change the perception of those that hold the keys to open doors that we can get our lives back on track. And they see us, most of us with pants sagging, Timbs, and smelling like weed, and they believe that's re-entry. That's the only part of re-entry. That's not true. I was in the feds, and re-entry was with all race, religion, and everybody else, and education, and as far as economics. And I said, you know what? I have to change the perception of the individuals. But the reason I did that, because I wanted people to see what it's really like to look at a human being as a human being. Not judge a person by their mistakes, but by their action today. Don't look at the past. The past created for you for what you're doing right now. That's understandable. I served 22 years, and I was locked up for 264 months. And the government received $30,000 a year from me. Now it's up to 42, something like that, at the time. And they made $726,000 off. That's how much they made off. And I didn't have any money put into a 401k plan. Not at all. I didn't have any money put into a retirement fund. Nothing put aside for me. If I worked for 22 years in the city of Milwaukee for the federal government, that's what I would have had. That's what I would have had. And I served 22 years working for the government. And I came home to nothing. Because here's what happens. Jail sets you up. Regardless how you got there. Let me tell you how it sets you up to fail. When you come home from jail, let's say you did 5 years. Those 5 years, you had no responsibility. Those 5 years while you was incarcerated, you had no responsibility. Zero. You had a job was already given to you when you got it. A place to lay your head was already there. Food already there. Shelter, clothing, even Medicare was already there. When you received money from your family, a money order, that was your money to go to commissary with it, save it, or send it home. You can do whatever you wanted to do with it. Out here in society, you have bills to pay. You have not been given responsibility or taught responsibility because we was irresponsible to go there in the first place. Exactly. So once we got in there, now I'm just taking the blame because we always want to point fingers at everybody else. Take the blame. You got there because you made a poor decision making, which I call stinking thinking. Anytime you have a thought that the end result, if it go wrong, which it will, you know it will, you can wind up in jail or the graveyard. That's called stinking thinking. That's what it's called. Once you get to jail and they take care of you, so I said flip the script. Treat us the way you treat us when we first went to jail, when we come home. Give us a job. Give us health care. Give us a place to stay. Give us some food. Give us clothing. Why don't you do that? You would spend $40,000 a year, and all you got to do is really pay me $20,000. I can go to school. You understand? We are traded on Wall Street like gold and orange juice. They just had Michael Jordan in Ford magazine last week. He reached the billionaire mark. Guess how he got there? Got out of prison. Got out of prison. We go to jail trying to buy Jordans. Ain't that something? I'm going to take y'all somewhere. I'm going to give y'all the other side of the entry. Because I don't make no excuses. None whatsoever. Because it's people that works in the jails that's good people. That's their life work. That's their heart. That's their compassion. That's what it is. We go there and try to manipulate the situation and get mad at them. The reality is this. What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Because when you come home, right, it's a smorgasbord on the table. It's a smorgasbord. When you come home and you have to deal with your family, they have a table already set. They already have their struggles. They're willing to struggle with you if you're willing to do the right thing, to stay home. So they got vegetables and all kinds of healthy things on the table. Now, what do you bring to the table? Do you bring honey buns and all that old stuff to clog your arteries up? What do you bring to the table that's healthy, that the family can embrace? We throw a party when you come home. But all I got to do is watch you for one day, and I can tell you what you've been doing for 10 years while you was incarcerated. Because your conversation will never lie on you. It will never lie on you. If you sat around with frivolous conversations, read frivolous books, and watched Jerry Springer and Murray and all that dumb stuff, then that's all you have when you come home mentally. You never prepared yourself to get out here to be successful. Never. Then you get here with no self-esteem. You get here, your self-worth is low, and then you look for a program to do miracles when you yourself ain't even willing to perform a miracle on yourself. This is real right here. Nobody can tell me I can't do anything. I'm going to tell you why. I've been home 39 months. I came home May 22nd, 2012. In 39 months, I was the manager at the convention center in the city of Philadelphia. I was the manager at the Kimmel Center in the city of Philadelphia. I was the manager at Penn's Landing. Ex-offender. And I let all that go. I walked away and said, you must be crazy. In life, you're going to meet someone that has a call. Whether you understand it or not, when that individual has a call, they're willing to leave any and everything to answer that call. My calling was re-entry. My calling was to sit at the table and have some real representation at the table. And because of that, I became the face of re-entry in the city of Philadelphia. Why? Because one, I established re-entry month. With 11 other states, we combined simultaneously, and we did a re-entry month. City Hall gave a citation. We got a call from Barack Obama personally. You understand? Recognizing re-entry month. And there's no reason Milwaukee don't become part of that. There's no reason. There's no reason. This is a movement. I'm trying to tell y'all what's going on right now.
I gotta live my life. I thought about it twice. I don't wanna make a sacrifice. I gotta make this paper, baby. I gotta make this paper, baby, yes. When the last time I saw my dreams, the streets, they took me like a triple beam. It weighed me from side to side. That last time I thought I took my last ride, and that gun flashed and blazed and my eyes closed. I dropped to my knees and saw that right side. The light, it won't change me. Yeah, no. I gotta let it go. I gotta make a change. Cause baby, don't you know I'm living this way of the blame. I wanna make this change, but it comes to you. Oh, I gotta live my life. I thought about it twice. I don't wanna make a sacrifice. I gotta make this paper, baby. I gotta make this paper, baby. 'cause there are so many changes in my life. I gotta make it. I gotta change. Oh, yeah. I remember when I sat back when I was 18 in the streets, they took me and I tried to keep myself clean. I had it made and I was sitting back on my own. When you talking about grown, and I was trying to make it my own, so I was sitting there and I was riding out and I was holding up with that strap right. When these dudes talking that bull crap, I tried to keep my life right. When I was trying to keep it together, holding off what I mean. I was sitting there, I started drinking, I started driving, knew I wasn't clean, shorty. Life had been on suspenders, and I was sitting back on some reels. When he's talking that, hold up, I'm from the bricks, shorty. You better lay them on that. I'm sitting back with these clients, so I gotta make some changes. So I gotta let it all go now, cause I gotta let it go. Yeah, gotta make a change. And baby, don't you know I'm living this way? I'm the blame. I wanna make a change when it comes to you. Oh, I gotta live my life.
I'm Sue Castenson. I'm here with FairShake, a re-entry resource center, web-based and software-based hub for re-entry stakeholders. I'm here at the Freedom from the Inside Out Summit because I feel this is a really important place for many re-entry stakeholders to come together to talk about the challenges around re-entry and to hear each other from various perspectives. This is the crux of what FairShake offers. We are a hub for all these voices. So to actually be in a space, a physical space where these voices are coming together and listening and sharing information, sharing the struggles so that we can all work on creating the solutions together, I feel is imperative to creating successful re-entry.
It's John Thomas. I'm a supervisor with DWD Job Service. This is our event, Freedom from the Inside Out. This is our first event. Hopefully it won't be our last one. We had a great turnout today. We were able to help a lot of former offenders get some direction, give them some motivation, and steer them on the right path and tell them how to be strong and overcome barriers at today's event. We got a lot of great speakers. We had Secretary of Department of Corrections, Secretary of DWD. We also had guest speaker Tracey Fisher from Philadelphia. So this was an awesome event today, and I believe it was a great success.
I never miss, so I'll be scratching the name my hit list of those who could not slam with the swiftness. So who's the big man who wants to come and disrespect my spot and bring your wolf and try to prey upon my flock? It must be country rock. I can't believe it's not real what's up, cause hip hop is hardcore. We're forgetting from the gutter comes the street on the hustler with the mayhem sound. So peace. Now here comes that rough street corner head that I flipped out and